This is a Headgum podcast.
Hey everybody, I'm Wayne Brady.
And I'm Jonathan Mangum.
And welcome to What If, the show where we invite a guest who we love, who's badass at everything we do, and we ask them the what ifs of their life, a career, the multiverse, and everything.
Yeah, and everything we do today has completely been make-em-upped.
They make them up, fully improvised.
Even our music. And today we have Branson on music.
My man Branson. So, we ask the question, what if Colton Dunn was our guest?
Woo.
What if Colton Dunn was our guest, y'all? What if Colton Dunn? I don't know much about history because it's a mystery to me, I see. But I got a guy for you and me. He's going to sit on our couch. Oh shit, who can it be?
I love my man, and his name is Colton. He's the opposite of Michael Bolton. That's right, you know, you got me and you feel. I know he wrote some words for the key and the peel.
He should beat the dude in the Olympics. Gold he would be winning. His name is Colton Dunn, but the dude is just beginning. Seen him on stage doing improv and stuff, and I've seen him on Superstore. He's funny enough, and now he's on a spy show. I say, go, bro. I'm kinda jealous, but it's you. Okay, though. And I'm so happy that he's here today.
The recruit's how you say the
Yo,
name.
what if I was a guest up on your show? I'd be answering your questions, saying you know. I'd be talking about all the things that I shout, all the things in my life that I'm living about.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm sitting on the couch and I'm drinking my water. I'm gonna tell you about my sons, gonna tell you about my daughter. I'm gonna tell you about all the things that I can do. My name's Colton Dunn and I'm here for you.
What if? And now there's no need to ask what if. Everybody, put your hands together in your houses, in your cars, or wherever you're watching on public transit for Colton Dunn.
Hey, everybody. Hi.
Hello, Mr. Dunn.
How's it going, guys?
First guest to ever jump in on the rap. I love that.
Oh, tight.
Because this is what he does.
Yes, he does.
It's so good to have you, man. We are at the beginning of this improv podcast journey, and so to be able to have another improviser is just a blessing.
Oh, man. Well, it's awesome to be here. I love improv. And you know, so obviously anytime I get a chance to improvise with you guys, I'm going to do it.
How long ago, because we did an improv together in Vegas with Drew Carey. Was that like 15 years ago or something crazy?
Is that what it is?
That's when I met you. That's when I met you, yeah.
That's when we met. Man, that was like a life-saving thing for me at the time.
What do you mean?
Because I was so broke. I had no job. I wasn't working. And Heather Campbell?
Yeah.
Introduced me to Drew and was like, I think he could do the Vegas shows. And so Drew brought me to the Improv and had me like do some improv there, and then brought me to Vegas. And I got to tell you, man, going from like sleeping on my friend's couch to a 4-day weekend in Vegas doing shows with meals paid for, that's pretty tight.
I love it.
That's so great that you got to fit the black guy slot, the slot that weekend. That's so great. Shout out to Drew. He always keeps a brother
Drew.
in the pocket.
Thank you, Drew.
Always keeps
Drew,
a brother
he's
in the
still
pocket.
repping DEI.
man,
You know, he's still repping DEI.
He is no target.
Yeah.
I will tell
He's
you
not
that.
target.
Everybody always watch Drew Carey shows because he does support. Drew does support. So
At least one.
yeah, at a time. Oh, it's definitely some.
We're not going to get crazy
Oh,
here.
it's
he's not a nut.
Oh no, it's some Highlander shit. There can be only one. So I'm glad I was out of town that weekend. So congratulations.
Thank you.
So what we do here, you know, like we explained, this is just it's just crazy. It's whatever comes to our mind. We just want to talk, vibe, and see what comes up. And who knows what happens in the moment. You know, we live by the motto, improvisation is a conversation. So that's what's going to happen with us today.
Oh, very cool. Let's have a conversation.
So we want to talk, you know, you actually started at a great place because I know that I wasn't familiar with you until Superstore, that gigantic hit. I loved Superstore. And as a brother, you know, I think that we do the same thing. We always know who's on all of the shows. We are very aware because like, oh, I didn't get that. And you got that.
Mm-hmm.
So we know each other. So as soon as you came on board, I was like, oh, this guy's just brilliant. Just so good at what you do. Funny, great actor. What was the journey before Superstore?
Oh, wow. Okay. So before Superstore, I started in improv years ago watching you on Whose Line. And that's what got me excited to do improv. And so that got me going in doing comedy sports and coming up doing that. I moved out to New York because I took a trip out there and saw the Upright Citizens Brigade.
And you're from Illinois?
I'm from St. Paul, Minnesota. I was born in Normal, Illinois, though.
Okay.
And so I got out there, and my goal was just to go do improv comedy. And, I at the time, I didn't realize how ridiculous that was as a goal. Because, now, improv's, all over the place. But, back then, it was very, very few and far between. And any way there was definitely no way to make money doing it.
Now, which year is this?
This has got to be 1996,
okay.
1997.
There was no money, but there was like occasionally food in it, right? Like there was like a pizza left over.
There's occasion. There's definitely pizza. Pizza crust.
Yeah, the crusts were there.
Beer. I remember being
especially
involved.
If you're doing comedy sports. We used to do theater sports, and Jonathan did comedy sports too. After all those gigs, there was always some pizza and there was always some beer, if nothing else.
Yes. Oh, that was the menu. That was the diet. I get out to New York, and I'm doing comedy sports. I'm starting to do more longer form improv with the Upright Citizens Brigade Theater, and then the Conan O'Brien show would cast a lot of people out of UCB, and I started getting cast in little parts on the Conan O'Brien show, and that was my first time on TV. I was cast as a boy band member, and then I did a lot of security guards. I'd always be a security guard. And that, and then I basically lived in that world of comedy where I would get like cast as a very small part in different things, and I'd work with the theater. I did the same. I auditioned for SNL, didn't get it. Moved out I lived in Amsterdam for a while doing improv.
Boom, Chicago.
Look at that group, yeah.
And that was great because I was my mid-20s in Amsterdam doing improv full time. That was great.
Yeah.
So that was your comedy college.
That was comedy college, 100%. And my writing college. That's when I got into actually writing the stuff down that I was doing. And so when I came back and moved out to LA, still trying to get into comedy, very hard. I was living with Jordan Peele at the time on his couch. He was on Mad TV. And, at first went out there and be like, I'm going to be the next big actor. And then realizing that's what everybody's doing. And so really started working on writing. Started trying to write stuff, help with Jordan write sketches for Mad TV, which transitioned into trying to get a job on Mad TV. So then I got hired on there. And then I wrote Mad TV. I wrote for Key and Peele. I wrote on the reboot of the Arsenio Hall show. I was doing a lot of writing and sneaking out of work to go audition for stuff or to shoot a day on a show called Happy Endings or Parks and Rec. Like if you ever see me on Parks and Recreation, I snuck out of another job to go do that. And with one time even being like, man, I'm not feeling so good today. I can't come in. And then I went going to Radford to shoot something because, they didn't want you to be at work.
Yeah. Yeah.
The hustle is real.
The hustle was real. And I would test for pilots. They never got picked up. Eventually, Superstore did, and then got super lucky, ran for 6 seasons. And,
It's so amazing to hear other actors' stories, right? Because you begin to realize the commonality. Because you said that was 96 when you moved out here or when you moved to New York?
When I moved to New York.
When did you move out here?
That would have been probably 2004.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm thinking where I was in 96. So if you moved to New York in 96, I think that was the year that I moved to LA. You just moved out to
95.
To LA 95. And so improv was a destination, but you knew that you wouldn't make any money doing it. It was kind of like using improv as the sharpening stone.
Yeah.
To get your skills up. Because when I moved out here, I had the same thought that you did. I said, because we moved out with a group called the House Full of Honkies, and we used to perform, and we actually got a really big name, and that's where the audition for Whose Line came later. But I was just performing with the group because in the back of my mind, improv groups don't necessarily make it. That's unheard of. Yeah. But I'm using that to then I'm gonna get a TV series and I want to be in a show like ER, or I'll do this thing, and then you have that dream until you're like everybody else and their mama's got that same dream.
Yeah.
Well, it's great to hear the struggle, though, too, because in my mind, for whatever reason, when I see someone successful that's been on a show, and I imagine asking them, how did you get the show? In my mind, they answer, it's the first thing I read for and I got it. I tested right away, picked. Like in my mind, that's everybody else except me. You know what I mean?
Dude, multiple failed pilots.
Course. Yeah.
Tested. I had my favorite testing situation was there was a show that I won't say the name of the show just because it ended up going on. So
what is it? What letters does? What four letters does it start with?
I mean, it starts with a DR.
Oh, so. Doctor.
But so I
Dr. Quinn, medicine woman.
Driving Miss Daisy, the TV show, the weekly episodic.
Yeah. But it was one of those where they go, I'm reading with the casting people. They're like, we're going to test you for this. And I'm like, great. And they're like, we're not going to test anybody against you. That's how confident we are.
Oh, no.
And I was in my mind, I was like, oh, this is great. They don't want to do that. And then I talked to somebody else. They're like, dude, that's horrible. Oh, no. Yeah. I'm sorry, man. You're not going to get it. And I was like, what?
You were fodder.
Like, no, they're not testing anybody. There's no competition. And they're like, no, man. You're going into a room full of people who want to be making a choice. And if you tell them that they can't make the choice, then they'll go, no, then we don't want it. And that's what happened. I went in and I had a great audition and they were like, no, we're just going to do something else.
Or you don't know subconsciously that he put that message in your brain and he was sabotaging you.
He was sabotaging.
You know what I'm saying? People that you think are friends and they throw these little bombs, these little secret subconscious bombs.
Ike Barinholtz.
I love how we didn't say the name of a show, but shout out to Ike Barinholtz.
What's up, Ike?
That is hilarious. You know what I'd love to see is I'd love to see the screen test for, because we can't talk about the show that he auditioned for, but I would like to see the screen test for Driving Miss Daisy.
Okay, great.
I would love to see the screen test for Driving Miss Daisy.
Come on in. You're first?
Yeah. Hi.
What's your name?
Ricky.
Do you have a headshot, Ricky?
Yes. It's in my bag. Do you mind if I step back outside?
Oh, go ahead. But you're going to lose the advantage. So your name, please?
Joe.
Okay, Joe's going to go first, Ricky, because you have to step outside to get your bag like an unprofessional actor.
Thank you so much. Okay. I'll just say hey to him real fast.
Okay.
Say, hey, man, it's good to see you at the audition.
How's it going? Yeah, man.
Yeah. We haven't seen each other in a while.
It's been a long time.
Yeah. Well, you go on first. I'm going to go out and get my bag.
Okay.
It's great. So they're looking for a type like you too.
I guess so.
Wow, because that's not what the producer told me when I talked to him last night.
Oh, really?
At the party. But yeah, like go in and do your thing.
They're
I'll talk to you afterwards. Oh, I didn't say they weren't looking for you, but they weren't looking for you. But it's choices. Yeah, that's cool.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I'll be right over here.
They're not looking.
Hey, Joe, come on in.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe, did you see Ricky on the way out?
Yeah.
Do you think he'd do a good job at this part?
Well, I guess it depends on what you're looking for.
Hey, I'm sorry to interrupt your audition real quick.
Yeah.
But afterwards,
yeah.
We still on for 2:00 at
Pickleball?
Yeah, I love that.
You know it.
All right, cool deal.
hey, handshake that you can only hear because it's a podcast.
Hey. Oh, so intricate. That's intimacy. Hey, but you go do your thing.
Thanks, man.
Okay. Joe, we're only going to be doing, I know you prepared scenes 1 through 9.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing scene
40 pages.
2. Scene 2.
Huh?
It's just a reaction. There's no words.
Just
the reaction of what we say.
Just the part where the train goes past and the train stops.
And here, pretend the train is coming.
Whoa. Train.
Okay, that was pretty good.
I tried to improvise a little bit there.
We don't mind that at all. Could you send in Ricky and stay and watch his audition?
Stay in the room?
Yeah, in the room. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Great.
Hey, Ricky.
Oh, yeah.
They're calling you in, but they want me to stay.
Stay in the
thanks.
room.
I'm sure that you were great, man. I'm sure you're great.
Come on in, Ricky.
They're only having you do the
No, he's going to do all the scenes. He's going to do all the scenes.
Which scene? Because I prepared all of them.
Scene 1. We'll start at scene 1.
But this only has 3 lines.
I know.
Oh, come
You're
on,
so funny.
All right.
Oh, I'm sorry, Joe. Could you face the wall while we do this?
Stand facing the
Stand
wall.
facing the wall.
Oh, and can you read the other 2 lines, the first line and the third line, and I'll just do
Miss Daisy lines?
Yes, you do the Miss Daisy lines, and I'll do the one line in the middle.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Go ahead. Action.
Please drive me somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice out today.
All right, that's it.
That's
I can give
really
you other
good.
options.
That's really good. You're both great. You're really both great. We're going to go a different way. I mean, a different way from, we're not doing television. We're going to go into books. We're going into books.
You're gonna. Oh,
So, sorry.
so no part.
No part. This is just all books now.
Oh, well, neither one of us got it.
Well, neither one of us got it. Well, all right.
I'll see you at pickleball, though.
Yeah, see you pickleball. And if you could stay in the corner, please, that'd be great.
I'll just keep standing here.
And for those of you watching, that's exactly how auditions go
Exactly.
in Hollywood. That's exactly
You know,
what happens.
even though that's not how they really go, that's how it feels.
It is how it feels.
Exactly.
It is how it feels.
Well, what ends up happening, and like I was doing to you, I've had that done to me where, eventually you start auditioning against the same circle. And I know that you've met the same
dudes.
same guys. And sometimes there will be a dick in the group who does have that handshaking, cloying personality that he knows the casting director and the producers, and he gets in your head.
You got a shout out for somebody?
Josh Myers. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Shout out to Josh Myers.
Just kidding.
But it's always that thing. And so it's annoying, but it also helps you learn to be focused and get into your zone.
Yeah. I think the first couple times something like that happens, it gets you. But once you learn it, I start feeling more bad for those people. Like it's when I see somebody, I'm like, oh, buddy, you're trying to manipulate things around you.
Yeah, he's desperate.
Yeah, just focus to the tip of your nose, man. That's all you got to worry about. Not got to worry about everybody else.
That's good advice. That's good because it's such a weird ass job.
Yeah.
This is on paper, and it's a weird ass job. Some people go to school for many, many years to learn this intangible art that then you audition against other people for a make-believe thing that can pay your bills or change your life.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you give your life to. It's weird.
It's weird.
It's weird. What are we doing?
I don't know.
It's weird, but it's fun.
It is fun.
It's fun.
Yes.
It's fun if you let it.
And I think improvisers have some of the most fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
In this business. Whenever I meet other people who have done improv, I feel like they're the ones who tend to move pretty well through the business. I think straight actors or just straight writers, sometimes I think they get a little hung up, their craftsmanship, stuff like that, is where improvisers, it's almost like we're doing, I'm an improviser that writes. I'm an improviser that acts.
Yes.
We kind of like it when things go wrong because that's where we can do our thing.
That's where we thrive.
Yeah.
And exactly what you're just saying, I just started teaching this course at USC. I'm an adjunct professor, and it's improvisation for camera, and that's one of the things that I've said to the class in terms of the freedom of being able to be your own writer, director, and actor in that moment.
Fluffer.
And
That goes in there
your
too.
own fluffer.
Yeah.
It's true.
Some of us,
Yeah. That can and that want to. What amazing freedom, especially when you're auditioning for things like commercials, especially auditioning for commercials or even on a scripted piece. It just helps to be able to have the improv ability to pull out, to give life before the script and afterwards, and just freedom to play.
Yeah. 100%.
Now, as a kid, and thank you for the compliment. I'm going to go back and say thank you. Like when you were saying that you were watching Whose Line and being able to see someone like me doing improvisation. I love that fact. I completely, now in my old age, I can completely sit in that OG spot of, that rarefied air of being the first on a network show like that, and then followed by juggernauts like Key and Peele and those of us that started to really get into the business like you. As a kid, I always had that sense of play. I didn't know it was called improvisation.
100%. Yeah.
But I always had that thing of wanting to create on the spot. Is that something that you did?
Always had that thing, and even more so in the world of improv. When I was doing it, it was extremely white. It is white.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
white.
it's
still
white
white
now.
It's
Yeah.
still white. But imagine it being more. It was transparent.
I was in a group
And-
called the House Full of Honkies. I imagine,
And
yes.
so and so not only was it learning, improv, but you gave me a feeling that I can do it now. That it's not, because it hasn't always. It's not necessarily respect. I mean, look, Dave Chappelle even took a shot at improv recently on SNL. And so it's like there's not a ton of black people in improv. But now there's a lot more than there used to be.
Amen.
And, and I know that there's guys who started improv after they came to see me do a show, And
Yeah.
so it's like it builds on itself and builds on itself. So that was a huge thing for me. But it's one of those things that when you're starting out, that it is just so freeing to play. And to when you realize like, oh, I'm just playing, I'm just goofing around. Like, and that's almost, I think, the thing when you're learning improv, that the people who get really good get to a point where they go, oh, I'm just playing.
I'm just playing.
Like they hit that thing, like all the rules that they thought of to kind of basically unlearn that adult brain or whatever it is. Everything they teach you in high school, you get rid of that and you just play like you're a kid. You're gonna be fine.
When you were a kid, what did you like to play? Like did you run around with sticks and like I'm shooting lasers?
100%. Was not allowed to have guns, toys, so everything became.
Oh, you
a
weren't
gun.
allowed to have like
My
even
mom
like
did not
water
want me to
pistols?
have a gun, any guns.
Wow.
So, but that meant that everything became a gun. Yeah. Because I didn't have it. Everything I could pick up was now a gun. I had a little bit of a pyromaniac to me. I remember because I lived in apartment buildings when growing up, and we lived up on the 3rd floor of this one apartment building. And one of my favorite games, kids don't do this, but was to take a paper plate and tape it together and then cut a hole out and then stick like a G.I. Joe in it, like he's flying a UFO, but light it on fire and throw it out the window. And
So his UFO is going down.
His UFO is going down, so I light it on fire and then throw it out the window and then run down to be like, oh, look at the damage. And he...
that I didn't do it with a paper plate, but I basically did the same thing. I would set firecrackers on my army men and action figures, and they would be involved in fights. And then when one of the heroes would power up, you light it, power punch, and then they would blow up because the guy punched him so hard.
I used to call the police on people like you. And, it was very fun. It was my version of play.
Jonathan is from Mobile, Alabama.
Yeah.
I'll just preface that by saying that.
Yeah, he wasn't even referencing our stories.
Oh,
He was
no.
just like, we would call the police
New
on you,
conversation.
the two of you.
Oh, yeah. New conversation.
New conversation. I would like to call the police on you too.
In fact, they're outside right now. Mm-hmm. Was your mom aware that this happened?
She would. I think she eventually became aware because she could smell it when she'd come home. She could smell the smoke of something burning, and I was bad at lying, so I ended up probably just cracking and telling her.
What's your mom's name?
Carrie.
Carrie. Were you raised in one of those apartments, the buildings or neighborhoods where the neighbors looked out so that when you were doing that and being bad, there was a person that would snitch on you? Or did mom just find out on her own?
I think she just found out on her own, because it was a lot of, there wasn't a lot of snitching going on where I grew up.
Okay.
Not a lot of snitching.
Let's kind of visualize what that conversation was like. What did your mom do?
She taught autistic children.
Oh, this is going to be great.
So funny.
This is going to be great. It's going to be off the meter. And what did dad do?
Well, not much. He was not around too much, but he was a fireman.
Okay. So mom would come home from a day at school.
From a day, she teaches special ed.
Oh, my feet.
Oh, hey, Mom. Hey.
Hello, Colton. Colton?
Uh-huh.
Colton, baby.
Yes.
What's that smell?
Oh, you smell something in here?
I smell what? Where's your little brother? Or your cousin? Or your white friend that you play with after school?
Todd?
Where is Todd?
They left.
Ding dong.
It's me, your dad.
Whoa, Dad!
Okay, I'm out of here. Bye.
Oh, not again.
At first, I thought it was going to be Todd, but the fact that that man came back. Ding dong. Click.
I left my keys.
Oh,
Dad!
Bye.
oh. Ding dong. I'm not even going to explain our interaction.
It's me, Todd.
Todd, were you and Colton playing together?
What did you say?
I didn't say I haven't answered yet.
Okay. What?
So what is that smell? I'm getting hints of plastic?
Don't tell her, Todd.
He lit
Styrofoam?
on fire. He lit plates on fire
You lit plates on fire?
because his dad's a fireman and this was his only way he could react in a way that showed that he needed attention.
I thought if I started the apartment on fire, then Dad would have to come.
Oh, baby.
Oh no, this got real.
Oh, Todd, you should go home now.
Okay.
Click. Colton, come here. Let Mama hug you. Little Colton, even though you're only 15 years old, you too big to get off my lap. You're acting out your rage like a pyromaniac. But even at your age, you've got trauma, so I will forgive that.
What should I do? I miss my father so. When I light that flame, I feel like I can glow.
Even though your father's not here with us, you feel the warmth of his flame. And now, at the top of my lungs, I'll say his name. His name was
Ike Barinholtz.
Ike Barinholtz. Daddy Ike Barinholtz.
Where are you?
Ike Barinholtz.
Ike Barinholtz, where are you?
Damn you, Ike.
Hello?
Damn you. Click.
It's me. No, I'm not your father. I'm from the Dixie Company. I'd like to give you a free lifetime supply of Dixie cups and plates to burn all you want.
Baby, you've got your first sponsorship deal.
Wow, that's crazy.
Thank you so much, Paper Plate Man.
You're welcome. Call me Paper Plate Man.
Bye-bye, Paper Plate Man. Oh, Ike Baron, let's step onto the balcony.
Yeah. Oh, it's a little chilly out
I
here.
know, it's cold out here in
Minnesota.
In Minnesota. Here, write down your father's name, Ike Barinholtz. I want you to write it down.
Barinholtz.
And then, in the tradition of the Chinese, we're going to
lantern?
We're going to make a lantern, and I want you to use that last match, and I want you to light his name on fire and send it out into the world.
Just one match to send away the pain.
Just one match to send away the pain.
I'll light this name, and it will not define me.
Never.
Fly away, lantern. Bye.
And on that day, Colton Dunn made a promise to himself, and he said,
I promise never to eat old cheese.
and he's kept that to this very day. The end.
Oh, man.
Oh,
Man,
Yeah,
that was
beautiful.
Thank
Took
you
me
for
back.
sharing. I saw, I think you might have dealt with some trauma on that one.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit, you know?
You did all the scenes, so that was great, but we're still going to give the part to Ricky over here.
Yes.
Oh,
thank
Because
you
even
so
though
much.
it's your life story,
Okay, can I get away from the wall yet?
yes, now you can
Okay.
step away.
So I'm going to be playing him, right?
Yeah, you'll be playing him. Even though it's his story, I feel like you might have a better...
I think I'll embody a little bit better.
Okay, great.
Thank you. I'll see you at pickleball.
Yes, I'll see. Oh, yeah, that's right. In 5 minutes.
Great. So is there anything that you'd like to ask Colton Dunn in the time that we have left?
There is something I was curious about. Colton is such a cool name.
Yeah.
Like, where is that from? It sounds like a spy or like a cop, like Colton, like a
I think
cowboy.
what he's saying is you're black.
No, I don't.
How'd you get that name Colton?
I didn't say that. I think Colton is cool. Like, where? Like, did you have someone named Colton in your family, or where did it come from?
You think, right? That name is a street name in Normal, Bloomington, Illinois. That
Really?
My mom saw while she was driving around with me.
Oh, the name of a street.
It's the name of a street.
It's a street.
Didn't it
I know
sound
what
like-
you.
Oh, you're like,
It's a-
Colton is a street name.
Hey, Playboy.
That's what I got.
Yeah.
Colton.
Ladies and gentlemen, once upon a time, the greatest rapper came out of a neighborhood that you've ever heard of. I present to you, Colton.
What up? My name is Colton.
Colton.
Nothing rhymes with Colton.
Colton.
Michael.
Or maybe the word molten.
Molten like lava.
Or the singer Michael Bolton.
What? His name
That's
is
about
Colton.
it. I got this name from living in the streets.
In the streets.
Struggling, hustling, hugging.
He'll hug you, motherfucker. Cause he's a great mother-hugging motherfucker. You never been hugged like before. When Colton comes in the front door.
Where my huggers
Yo.
at?
Huggers!
The C is for crazy, cause that is what he is.
And the O is for being like Timothy Oliphant. The best in the biz.
And the L is for licorice. That twisty little candy.
The T is for all the titties that he see, like Lalisha and Mandy.
The other O is for when he sees those titties and his mouth makes the shape of an O.
And the N also has an O. Cause it stands for no.
Oh, Colton.
From the street.
From the streets. That's the street
Licorice
name.
in his hand.
Licorice in his hand.
Where my huggers at?
Huggers at.
Mother hugger, fucker hugger.
Throwing out hugs and licorice to all the kids on the block, making money to the top, all the way to the bottom of my feet.
To the bottom of his feet, the opposite of what he walks
That's
on.
your soul. It's
That's
the
my soul.
bottom of your toes. That's where the rhyming part goes.
He's hugging and hugging with licorice. He's got physical contact and diabetes on the dish.
Yeah.
Ooh, yo, where my insulin at? I
Hey,
gotta get it before
hey.
I have a heart attack because
Oh.
my metabolism's all jacked up.
Said,
all this
oh.
licorice got me totally fucked.
Where's your, if you're missing a foot, put your hands up, put your hands up. I said, oh, if you're missing a foot, put your hands up, put your hands up. It'll balance you out.
Can't see me.
Oh no.
Oh,
Right, well, yeah.
God, that makes me so happy. I hope our sponsors are okay with that.
Dr. Scholes will be happy to continue sponsoring our show.
Shout out to Dr. Scholes and Ozempic.
Ozempic,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
miracle drug.
So street name was Colton, and
The
she just thought it was
street
cool.
was named Colton.
Okay.
My mom liked that name, looked it up, and then I never met another Colton
I don't know the Colton.
until I was about 13, 14. I started running into Coltons, and they were all 2-year-old little white boys.
Wow.
And so now, if you do search up Colton on the internet, you'll see a picture of me, and then everything else is like some white, younger, now they're in their 20s, 20s and 30s, but like there's a senator named Colton, and there's a
There's a
swimmer.
2-year-old senator named
Well, he's
Colton?
not 2 years
That's
old. He's
Hey.
older.
Why not?
Yeah, right?
At this point,
Yeah,
come
at
on,
this
what are you
point,
talking
any-
about? He's been confirmed.
So I'm just curious because that's interesting to maybe check out. So when you were, so you're saying that when you were 15, you ran into your first one when you
When
were
I
13?
started like 15, 14, I ran into, at the Mall of America, I heard somebody go, Colton, and I turned around, and it was a lady yelling at this little white kid.
So which year would this have been, like doing the math? When do you think you were 15?
That would be 1993.
93 or 15, so it's like 91. So let's even say 90 or 91. I wonder what was the explosion
Of Coltons.
of Colton names.
The Colt explosion.
Let's see, 1991, the name Colton.
Wayne is doing the search on his phone for those listening in audio only.
I don't have the haptics on. In 1991, the name Colton had a proportion of 0.0012% in popularity.
Yeah.
Colton is a male name of English origin.
Ooh.
People with the name Colton born in 1991. Colton Dixon, an American singer.
Yep.
Colton Flash, a Canadian curler. And Colton Harris Moore, an American fugitive.
Colton Harris Moore, I've heard that guy.
As well as Colton, the motherfucking street hugger, licorice thugger.
Yeah.
True.
Sugar. Be real careful.
Who is the OG? Yeah, he said licorice. He said licorice. Internet. Just looking out for you, man.
Thank you.
Just looking out. So let's talk about the show that you're on right now, because we could talk about Superstore. Loved Superstore. You were awesome. Oh. You know, one thing that I've meant to ask you that I'm sure that you got a lot of questions when you were doing press tours during the show is you played someone who was what's the actual term now? Because it's not
Someone who used a
handicapped.
wheelchair?
Yeah, it's not handicapped.
I was a person who used a wheelchair.
Right. So you're a person that used a wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I thought what was great about your portrayal of that, but I'm not in that community.
Yeah.
I thought what your portrayal of that was, you were a guy. You were a guy. They touched on your backstory, I think, in later seasons.
Yeah.
But you were just a guy. You used the wheelchair, but it wasn't the thrust of your character.
100%.
So, did you get a lot of love for the representation of it, or did you get the blowback of, hey, we should have another actor in that role, or did it not affect, or did that conversation not come up at all?
It definitely came up. Definitely came up before we even made the show. You know, one of the reasons why, you know, we had a conversation when they were going to go with it and do the show, and they were like, are you going to be comfortable doing that character? And so I talked to a few different friends, and I had a good friend who used a wheelchair. She was also in the comedy community, and I kind of talked to her about it. And, you know, one thing that she said was that, you know, when she was young and she had started using a wheelchair due to accident that a car accident that she was in. So it happened when she was younger, and she was kind of younger, but, you know, I'd always wanted to do acting and theater. And she was watching 90210, and she said in the background of a scene, a character did a cross who was using a wheelchair. And in her little kid self, she went, look, see, I can do this. I could be an actor. And so kind of between that and sort of the other thing you said, which is that, you know, as long as we're building this character and it's not his main focus, it's not all of that. To me, I just went, you know what? Somebody who uses a wheelchair is going to watch this show. They're going to see that, and they're going to see themselves represented in that. And I don't think they're going to get bogged down that I don't use the wheelchair in my you know, when I'm not that character. For them, they're just going to see that story, and they're going to see this guy who, you know, even back then he was kind of like the coolest guy in the store,
Absolutely,
and the most normal guy, and he's the one who's commenting on how crazy and weird everybody is. Then there were people who were upset, and obviously even during the show, the conversation did kind of change a little bit, even while the show was on the air. Of, you know, the idea of the inclusion and representation, and you know, casting, you know, people, you know, who have, you know, with disabilities or different abilities, and you know, I think one of the main things is that every time somebody had a real big issue with it and reached out to me with me, the first thing that I said is, I completely understand. I completely understand what you're upset about. You know, I grew up mixed race. I never saw myself on TV growing up. You know, and if I did see somebody who looked like me, they were playing an ethnically vague thing where they could be anything, whatever we need, we'll say, you know, or we won't comment on it. And so I understood that, you know, not having that in there is good. And I feel like I've had good conversations with people from that point of view of just going, look, I completely understand what you're saying. Just, you know, here's what I'm doing, you know, and, you know, and also the idea too, like, I have a family. This is my job.
Right.
I didn't, I'm not running the studio. I don't run the world.
You didn't hire yourself.
This job is there, and they hired me. And part of the hiring process wasn't, who can use the wheelchair the best. It was who's going to fit in with this ensemble the best. So, they could have, sure, I think nowadays if you were going to do that show again, they probably would push a little harder to try to find somebody who has that a certain disability or has that certain need. But I don't know. I think we focused really well on not making it his whole thing.
Absolutely.
We focused it on being fun, and I felt like it did make it helped to represent more. More people were able to watch that show and be like, yeah, man, the coolest guy on this show also uses a wheelchair like me.
Absolutely. And it's a different conversation, whether it's about race or your disability or whatever. If a casting that happened at this point, the conversation has changed.
Yeah.
So and thank you for answering that, because I would never want to ask something that would make you uncomfortable or make someone uncomfortable. But I think that representation, you're right, representation is paramount. And so the fact that even someone did see that character in a wheelchair and it wasn't their whole thing, but they were represented. You were wonderful. You were cool. They love story. You had this beautiful love story on and off. You got to do everything. And that's the important piece.
100%.
So very, very cool.
Yeah.
So let's talk Spice Show.
Oh, yeah, baby. The Recruit, season 2.
So rarely, you're not supposed to be jealous of people, but I think Jonathan and I both say we're jealous as hell of you.
Yeah.
Oh.
So jealous.
Really?
Because it's spy stuff. Like, you get to do the play thing that we talked about. You're playing.
I get it.
It's Cloak and Dagger.
100%. This was the best. So here's the deal. First season, please check it out. If you haven't seen The Recruit on Netflix, go check it out. First season of The Recruit, it's about lawyers for the CIA. That's how it was pitched to me. So already I was like, wow, that seems not that fun. Like the guys who justify waterboarding. That's like how I knew the lawyers for the CIA. But I read the script, super great, and then ended up getting it. And my character was this grumpy guy who used to be a CIA guy, like agent, but has now become a lawyer and just worked in the office. And that's what I do the first season. Well, it's been out for a while, so I'm going to tell you kind of what happens at the end, but you still should watch it. But at the end, basically the CIA director reactivates me as an agent, which I found out with everybody else when I read the script.
Really?
And I was like,
gosh.
oh shit. And so and that's the last episode of that season. And so Alexi Hawley, who, made the show, and I'm like, so it's like the second season am I like doing like spy stuff? And he's like, oh yeah. So that whole time that I'm off, which included like the strike and all that stuff, I'm like, I gotta lose weight. I gotta like get my movement back because I'm gonna be doing spy stuff. I was so excited. And sure enough, I get to like fight people. I murder somebody. I kill somebody on the show with a weapon.
What?
All right.
Did your mama see that? And did you use a gun?
My mama saw it and she was just like, what? First the paper plates.
And now the violence.
And now you're killing people?
Did you go to the special training camp where you learn the tactics of the gun?
I did a training camp. It was in Canada. So the person who was training me was a Canadian Navy SEAL. Very polite.
Kept apologizing when they killed
so
somebody.
You kept apologizing.
Sorry.
I don't want to
Sorry.
make a Canadian joke. So they're very, very, very dangerous army.
Dangerous.
Very
Canadians.
polite
They're
and
very
lethal.
polite, but lethal. So that was great. Yeah, fun. Like how to clear a room, like how you properly hold the gun, how you clear a room, how you because I had to do all this stuff in the show, and then also fighting, like and you get there, and this is where I was confronted with the piece of advice that I was given that then I did not take. And thankfully it worked out. But, and I'm sure you guys have heard this before too, when you're working, like, don't do your own stunts.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Especially if you're over 35 years old, you're an actor, don't do your own stunts.
But you did.
There's a guy there who's trained to do it, who wants to do it. It's like that's why he's there. So I was always told, if you ever had to do a stunt, like just let the other person do it. But, we're sitting there one day and they're like, okay, so you're going to have, we're going to have your character's going to run in, he's going to tackle this guy, take him to the ground, and then you guys are going to tussle like that. And so what you're going to do is you're going to hide behind this corner. All right, camera's going to sweep over there. We'll swap out the other guy, and then he'll run in and do the tackle. And I was like, I can tackle him. And they're like, you sure? I was like, yeah. Oh yeah, I want to do it. And they're like, okay, well, how much do you want to do? And I was like, I want to do as much as I can.
Oh,
And so I did the tackle. I did some of the fighting. So if you watch it, you're going to see me have this like little fight scene, and that's me in most of it. Except for one part where the guy literally lifts me up and throws me on the ground. And I was like, yeah, he can do that. You can bring him in to do that part. But
wow.
so, yeah, but I think the lesson is still there. Don't do your own stunts if you don't. But if you're feeling the vibe, and like I said, I had like gotten into a workout routine. I had gotten myself physically ready. I was like, I can do this, and I did it, and it was the best experience.
I was so worried you were about to say it, and then I broke my leg.
Right.
Oh,
so the
man.
rest of the season, I'm sitting down again at the desk.
Yes. No, but it's such a fun, and the show is so fun, and I don't, even though I'm doing the spy stuff, I'm doing all that other stuff, there's still room for me to be funny. I improvise in it. Like I was able, it's Netflix, which is the fun part on Netflix, so they just drop the whole series, right? So the last 2 days I was just able to kind of go through it, and that's always super fun for me to see what stuff that made it through all these cuts. That was stuff that I improvised on the day just to be fun. So I got a lot of stuff on, and just so excited. It's very fun. Check it out. It's really super, super fun show, and it's only 6 episodes. You'll breeze through it.
Congratulations, man. You hit the lottery. You get to have fun. You get to do the spice stuff. You did your own stunts. You got to improvise, and it's a dope show.
It's a dope show.
Nice.
One thing we've been doing is we've been just asking people a couple what ifs, and we do these short little bits.
I like it.
So I asked, because you're on a spy show and it's like secrets and mystery and stuff, I asked on social media, what's a secret or mystery you wish you had the answer to? And so here are some of the responses. Amy Kahn says, why is it impossible to fit everything back into the suitcase at the end of a trip despite returning with fewer items?
Ooh. Why is she returning with fewer items?
That is the mystery in
What
itself.
is she like a drug mule? What is going on?
I don't know. She had less items?
She came back with less items?
That's what she
coming
said.
back with less items. That's never how I travel.
But she posed the question like, when we all do this.
All right. Excuse me. Show me your ID, please.
That's my ID right there.
All right. Okay.
Please don't search my bag.
All right. Let me just step. Everyone behind this gentleman, remember, no liquids. No liquids. Please put all liquids into the bin. Throw them away. Electronics out of your pockets. Out of your... And take those shoes off, ma'am. Damn. Sorry, but let me take a look at this. All right.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay. Where were you coming from?
I was coming from the farm.
Coming from the farm. All right. In which state?
Oregon.
Oregon. Why are you sweating so much, sir?
Well, you said no liquids, right?
No liquids. Right.
Yeah. But there's a certain amount I could bring, right?
Well, no, we don't allow any liquids
none.
in the suitcase.
Oh boy.
Why is your bag? You know what? Excuse me.
Don't open that bag.
I'm gonna get my supervisor, Jeremy.
Don't open that bag.
Yes.
We have a suspicious bag. This gentleman right here. Please step out of line.
Yeah.
Please
Step out of line. Come over here. I'm just going to pat you down. Do I have permission to pat you down?
Yeah, I guess.
Do you have permission for us both to pat you down?
At the same time?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do we have permission?
And I'm gonna film it real.
Yeah. And if we could
quick.
get Larry, Paul, come over here. We got
Larry,
one. We got one.
Paul,
We got one.
come on.
Can we all pat you down?
Hey, man, can I pat him down, too?
Yes, I'll pat you down.
I'll pat him down.
All right.
Dynamite.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
All right. You're free to go.
Yep.
Okay, thanks.
Enjoy your stay.
Look, boss, I took a pair of jeans out of his bag. That's one less item he's got.
And that's what happens.
Yeah, that's what happens to her. Oh,
Wow.
she's getting jacked by TSA.
She is.
They distract you with the pat down and
Yeah.
they take your shit.
Yeah. Well, Take Shit Association, TSA.
Oh, I like that.
Now it is, yes.
This is from Mike Knox.
Okay.
Who invented the cocktail umbrella and why?
Oh, it was a very tiny man who lived in a very rainy environment.
I think there's a song about
Oh, is there?
the tiny man that invented the cocktail umbrella.
Well, I'm just a little man. I'm so small I can swim mile in a tiny little puddle. I'm a little man.
Hello, little man. I see that you're almost done. And hello, little man, you need protection from the sun.
Well, let me finish drinking my water out of this tiny thimble.
Maybe you need something to protect you and be quick and nimble.
What could that be? 'Cause I'm so tiny, the sun, it just wants to burn me.
I could use a hat, but then hat would be over you. And I could use a shoe, but the shoe would be on you.
I'm just a man selling paper mache and toothpicks.
Something makes me think that there's something to it.
That might be the right mix.
Here's a stick and here's some paper mache. Now the money you give is the money you pay. And I go away, and I go away.
He's gone, but he left the mache and the stick, and it sticks, and I put, and you fold, and you put it, and you stick it down, and you tiny man on it.
Click it and
look at that.
It's a
tiny umbrella. Wow.
What a tiny umbrella.
And now you're protected from the sun's rays. Will you marry me now? Yes. That was a
There it
big
is.
ass
That's how they
woman.
did it.
That was Randy Newman's Tiny Umbrella.
Tiny umbrella. Tiny umbrella. Man, thank you so much for coming by.
Oh, thanks for having me,
making
guys.
stuff up with us. And congratulations on season 2.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to a season 3. Everybody go stream that. We don't know
Yes.
what the analytics are that they use, but let's all go watch
Stream it. First 30 days. Stream that shit.
Stream it. I'm so happy for you. And I look forward to you doing more. And we have to improvise more together.
Yes. Yes.
Please.
Yes.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Thank you,
and
guys.
thank you so much for tuning in. Jonathan Mangum, Mr. Branson, our special guest, Colton Dunn. I'm Wayne Brady, and this has been What If?
What
Bye.
if?
Bye.
Things that make you go. I can't sing it.
Nope.
That was a Headgum podcast.